All right, like I said, we're back. Wildcard Weekend continues on the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. Big guy over there is my co-host, number 11. Let's get right to it. We got the Bills. We got the Jaguars. Sunday, 1 o'clock. How you doing? The Jaguars, 13-4. Best record they've had, I think, since the 99 season, the Brunell and Tom Coughlin. Big guy, 1 o'clock game in Jacksonville. Hopefully the Jacksonville fan base is finally excited about this football team. They should be. It only took about 8 weeks for them to catch up that they're actually getting better. But either way, we got the 12-5 Buffalo Bills, who are 1.5-point favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The over-under is 52.5 in this one. Yeah, a little high, right? A little surprise.
I like the under. Let me go. I like the under a lot.
Yeah. All right. So where do we start with this matchup, big guy?
Well, I'm going to do this. We got the number one run offense in the NFL. That would be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And, the one thing is, it seems like every game they try to establish that as fast as they can, and then they go. But then the number one run defense in the NFL is who? That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean,
right, baby.
We got opposites here. We got a team that believes in a little smaller, faster guys. And then we got Jacksonville. They believe in, man, they want big dudes. I mean, they're a big football team. Mm-hmm. And when you watch them and their run defense, they're the Buffalo, I really think they're going to throw this ball and throw it well to win the game.
Okay.
And as I do that, I'm going to switch to Jacksonville. We'll talk about the Jacksonville defense because a friend of yours or somebody well is coaching it, and he's doing a hell of a job.
A family friend of ours, yes.
Yeah. How about Trevor Lawrence, though?
Yeah.
And I believe as the year went on, he just got better and better. And I think I'm giving tons of credit to the coach because he stayed on him. He coached him hard. And really, that's what he needed. And I wrote this, and not to over dramatize it or whatever, is Trevor Lawrence went from liking football to loving it.
That's right.
I mean, it shows.
Yeah.
And he's tough as hell. And I guess I'm gonna let you talk here. The last thing is, they're one of these teams. The hell with throwing that swing pass, rip that thing down there to an end cut for 20.
Yeah.
It's so they're kind of a bully team. And they call plays on both sides of the ball like they're bullies.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I think this is a really tough matchup for the Bills. I won't be shocked if the Bills win it, of course, just because of who they are and where they've been and the quarterback and the coaches. But my first look at it is I looked at it quite a bit, went, man, Jacksonville, they just don't get the attention they deserve. They have of late, and this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, it takes a while, I feel like, for the attention and the focus of a Jaguars team to actually get to them just because of their geographical location there, Phil. But, for them, I agree with you 100%. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, to me, is playing as good as quarterback as anyone in the league right now. His confidence is absolutely soaring. His head coach is an absolute psycho in the most positive way possible. Like, when he ran into that locker room, right, with the team going crazy right before they gave Trevor Lawrence that platinum grill, which was so awesome, by the way. But, it's just like this whole team, like you could just see like they really have that feeling, right, about themselves. And it's an interesting contrast because it's like the Bills, they're going into the playoffs with that like, well, hey, this is a great opportunity. A lot of our Achilles heel matchups aren't in the playoffs. And for the Jaguars, they're like, we don't really give a damn who's there. We're just the hottest team in the NFL and line it up and let's go. So it's a really interesting approach to this weekend's game, I think, for both teams, where you got one team was like, well, yeah, hey, we might never get another opportunity like this. And the Jaguars are thinking, we're just playing ball. We're just having fun. It doesn't even matter what it's for. We just can't wait to play. So really fascinating. I'm leaning towards the Jaguars, big guy. I really am. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I believe in their running game to do just enough. Parker Washington has been absolutely phenomenal. Brenton Strange is doing some great stuff. Right. They find ways to get Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas involved. And yeah, you're right. Our boy from up north here in Jersey, Anthony Campanelli, all right, he's like, hey, take the cannoli, leave the gun. We'll take care of business. I mean, like when they have to, he's willing to take that calculated risk and get after it. And I think that's why I kind of favor the team that has nothing to fear, right, in this matchup right now?
Buffalo to win the game. I think this.
Yeah.
They find a way to get to the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who holds the ball, because they're going to throw it down the field. Even when he runs out of the pocket, he holds the damn ball. He's looking for the shot. But for Buffalo to win, they got to come out and they got to throw the ball.
Right.
I just can't imagine they can run the ball like they've been doing it against some teams against Jacksonville's defensive front.
Right.
So, now when saying that, is the strength of the Buffalo team their passing game? Absolutely not.
No.
The wide receiver group, whatever we want to say, been saying it all year. It's average. It's NFL average. I'm being kind. But they do have the 2 tight ends that they can work, and that would probably be their best matchups when it comes to throwing the football.
It's their only matchups throwing it with Knox and Kincaid. That really is. Gabe Davis has shown some light here too, and that's good. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, so at least he can win those 50-50s, with Josh Allen. So that's really, I think, their main focus is the running attack with those tight ends.
Yeah, I agree. And, too, you look at what was I going to talk about there? Well, the wide receivers for Jacksonville, I do like them. The running offense, even Travis Etienne, he's a dual threat. They got De'Ami Brown at wide receiver. You talked about Parker Washington. Man, it's like I don't think it came out of nowhere, but when you get a new coach, it's like a lot of I'm learning, and then halfway during the season, you go, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you see from them now.
Yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. And of course, just with these two teams, and it's like, do you trust the team that's kind of been there, done that before? Or are you trusting the team that just feels hot and just is ready to win? I'm going to go with the ready to win team, right? That just is like, I think this is a favorable matchup for the Jaguars, even though the Bills kind of have that mental experience over them. I do think just the X's and O's and the Johnnies and Joes, I think they match up well with them, and maybe and then some a little bit more. You're right. The other thing, too, we got to keep an eye on as well in that low red zone area, for the Buffalo Bills, don't forget about Trevor Lawrence, because he's big, he's strong, right? And he's a very good athlete. So you got to be ready to dial up or be ready to stop some of those quarterback design runs. So wouldn't be shocked if Jacksonville, right, gets into that empty stuff and says, hey, if it's a light box, we're running it with our big-time quarterback there to get in the end zone.
Well, he's almost Josh Allen. It's finally coming around. It took him a long time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, he's big. He can run. He's got a really good arm. He's throwing the ball more accurately this year than he did in the past. And for the, again, Josh Allen's going to have to throw, pick out the right guy, be really good that way. But he's going to have to run too. That's going to be their running game more than handing it off, I think. That's just right. Maybe I'm overdoing this stopping the run thing. But when you're number one in the NFL stopping the run, you don't fall apart in a playoff game. So, this – I get tired of hearing it on TV, and here I'm going to say it. It's about Josh Allen. Buffalo wins. It's going to be because he plays really, really well.
Right. All right, awesome. So that's what we got for that matchup. That is the Sunday matchup at 1:00. We're now going to switch it up and go to the Chargers-Patriots matchup for this weekend. So we got Chargers-Patriots. The Patriots are 3.5-point favorites at home over the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers rested a lot of their guys last week, including their star quarterback, Justin Herbert, rightfully so. The guy has absolutely just been knocked around all year in the schoolyard while they've played. So hopefully he got some much-needed shut-eye and rest during that week. For this matchup, though, big guy, what do you think? How do the Chargers seem to win this game, right, against the Patriots?
Well, one thing, they're very aggressive and fast and work hard on the defensive side. So I do like that. They got that energy and toughness that you want. But the other thing that gives you a little hope, New England's not a great pass rushing team. So the Chargers, who are not a good pass protection team, that kind of evens out. Maybe that gives Justin Herbert more time, more opportunities to throw the football down the field.
Okay.
And the thing about Justin, think about this game. We got two really big quarterbacks who can throw it in 30, 40 yards down the field like they're throwing a swing pass.
Right.
They just don't miss downfield throws. And, so that would be the big thing. Can they, it seems like every time I've watched the Chargers play, which is about every week, I just go, damn, he's getting killed.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing he hung on and made it through there. But I think
Right.
this will be a little different. I expect the offense. We're going to see Greg Roman open it up even more, because I think to win, it's going to be, again, the Chargers are going to have to throw the football really well to beat the Patriots.
Okay. And yeah, just you think it's an easier way for them to approach the football game for Herbert to just be overly aggressive through the air rather than trying to be patient, run the football, and do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I didn't even look it up to see the Patriots, where they are in run defense. I'm going to guess it's pretty good. I wrote
don't worry about statistically what it is. That's the feeling that you get though when you watch these two teams play, right? And just put the stats aside now. That's the way, and it's kind of interesting too, like with the Patriots, their rushing attack, I feel like, has been really good of late, right? And of course, Ramondre Stevenson had 130 against the Miami Dolphins last week. Travion Henderson has been very impressive here of late. Of course, Drake Maye is a very good athlete too. So, for them, I feel like it's kind of the opposite, right? It's like they need to run the football. They need to be patient with just like pounding the rock, right? Kind of wear out that Jesse Minter defense and then take your calculated shots, the play action passes and Drake Maye and all that, and then be aggressive through the air with your receiving core.
Yeah, I just kind of figured I got it in front of me. The run defense for the Patriots is pretty good. And so it's a typical Patriots team that we saw with Belichick and all those years when they were doing great. You can't run the ball, so now you got to throw it.
Right.
And that's okay, I think, for the Chargers. Oh, you're going to make us throw it? Okay, we'll do that. We got this big dude throwing missiles back here.
Right.
So stopping the big play will be a big thing for both defenses against the other side. The Patriots love to throw it deep down the field. And I think the Chargers, absolutely. The one thing, Justin Herbert, if I say one thing negative about him, he will hold the ball a long time because he can see that sooner or later that deep pass is going to come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is an interesting game. It
really is. This is a hard one to pick. It really, because, like you're mentioning too, like I like the Chargers defense a lot. And it's a good unit. I mean, with Dye, always been playing great. Of course, Tart, it seems like always is in the mix where he's not going to pass down or something like that in the interior. I feel like he bats more passes down than anyone in the league.
Yeah.
But just they got a little great mix of everything. Derwin James should be fresh and ready to go as well in this matchup. They run a lot of wild blitzes too. So I feel like that's kind of their recipe for success is just like, can they create as much havoc as possible on the defensive side and just making Drake Maye's first playoff appearance as difficult as possible for him. And you hope too that Justin Herbert just plays some good, clean football on the road.
Yeah. I'd say this about the Charger defense. It's about as physical as anyone you want to watch. I'm not saying it's the best, but they fly to the football.
Yeah.
They're, I think, a very good tackling team because they got speed to do it. They don't overcomplicate the secondary, but you know what? That would be one thing I've noticed these last couple games, especially remember when they played that game against Philadelphia. Different coverages, looking out, some double covers on guys they're worried about, and that's been, I guess, surprising.
Right.
That they know it's something that's not as good as we want, so they change it a little bit. And you're right. This is almost like a mirror image looking at each other. You're looking in the mirror. They got a lot of qualities that are the same. It's going to be a fun game. Can't wait to watch it. This is on Sunday, right?
It is, yes. Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
So, big guy, for you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I need an extra pillow because my ass is going to be sitting on the couch a long time, Thursday through the weekend. So that's all right. That's all right. I got to say this at the end, though. Drake Maye, I'm going to give him a lot of credit. He's gotten good protection. It's a great offense, good designs, all that. But what a year.
Yeah.
4,394 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
Come on. That's both. That's his talent and the system and all that. working really well for him.
Absolutely. It is. It's great talent. You're right. On top of just fantastic coaching and execution. So who do you got? I mean, all that being said, Patriots, Chargers. Did you also take the Jaguars?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
we
took the
both got the
Jaguars.
Jaguars. We both
Okay,
got the Jags,
listen.
Patriots.
I was going to take the Chargers, but I'm not. I'm going to take the Patriots.
All right. Well, for funsies, I'll take the Chargers in this one.
Okay.
Because we picked very similar here. And, for this one, yeah, I'll have fun with it. I'll take the Chargers. I'll go with the Patriots haven't played any tough all year. It's the NFL and their schedule and this. It's weak, yeah. So
they had more heads staying in there.
Be my line. Yeah. That's my line. They haven't played anybody,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't trust them. I don't know what it is. They only won 14 games, but they didn't play anyone worth a damn. Right. So I'll take the Chargers just to kind of have fun with it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a really fun matchup. And, it's two young football teams and new coaching staffs and all that still kind of figuring their way out as far as just how to build that, championship mentality. So that'll be fun. And yeah, it's Harbaugh, it's Vrabel, talk about just two interesting characters at the head coaching position going up against each other. And yeah, there'll be a lot of pacing back and forth between the sidelines for those guys.
Yeah, I'd say, basically, I mean this in a good way. They're two cavemen. Yeah, they're stuck in a time warp, man. They don't care, and it's working well.
Yeah, well, they're those guys where it's like all these great ideas, offensive, defense. Like, it's really simple. It's just like if we hit the other team harder and do simple things, we're gonna win. And that's what's great about these two guys. All right, so you got the Patriots, I got the Chargers, and now, last but not least, Monday night, 8:15 on ESPN, we got the Houston Texans. Congratulations, Houston! You're no longer playing on the Saturday window. And we're taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who get into the playoffs after defeating their division rival in the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Texans, a 12-5 football team, probably the quietest 12-5 football team I feel like ever with the season that they've had, taking on the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. Big guy, what do you think? Where do we start with this matchup?
Well, watching the game that Pittsburgh played against the Baltimore Ravens, and I know they got fortunate for the missed kick and all that, but the one thing they were doing, especially in the second half, they were out hitting the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry ripping through them in the first half, no such thing in the second half. So that was a big deal. I think the Steelers learned a lot in that game. J.J. Watt's out there now, how the defense is playing. Man, they made some humongous mistakes on the defensive side in the pass game, especially late, so they were fortunate to get the win. But yeah, I talking about Pittsburgh, that on defense, Hayward played a really outstanding game. But the guy that I look at is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he was like the guy holding everybody on strings and managing, and had them working on both sides of the ball. Yeah. And it was tremendous.
Right.
It really was. He made great decisions, didn't put the football in harm's way. I don't know if he had one throw the whole game that you go, wow, that was really close to a disaster.
Deep cross to Jonnu Smith, it was wide open for a huge play there. I expect Aaron Rodgers to hit that one. But other than that,
no. You know what? Why did he miss it?
Because he got nervous. He was so open?
No. When you watch it, when you watch it, he did this. He went to throw it, he went, and then to reload and do it again, and he gave it a little extra juice because it's a reload. Right. And that's why it went over his head. So I'm going to give him a little pass there.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did notice it because I saw he was like, oh my God, he's open. Oh my God, he's so open.
Yeah. We all been there as quarterbacks, when you hesitate, then you decide to make the throw, you give it the old steroid jerk, man, it goes farther than you want it to go.
Been there too many times. That's why I'm here doing the show with you. So that's why, and that's where Steelers, this is another one of those matchups, right, that we're seeing here. Jaguars, Bills, and now here with the Steelers and the Texans, it's a little bit of like, do you trust the young football team that has some speed, right, that especially on the defensive side for the Texans against the wily vets, right, the guys who have been there, done that, Super Bowl champions, head coach, quarterback, all that. where do you kind of lean towards when you're thinking about this game as a fan, big guy?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The Texans, they do the one thing about them, they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I watched them play, a couple games, and I was like, gosh almighty, they got 6 people rushing the passer.
Right.
And it's not like they're, they don't have great pass rushers. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Sheldon Rankin's a big dude, doesn't get sacks, but he sure is a force on the inside of the defense.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yep,
And
Barnett
I like
it's pretty disruptive as well.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
And they got the wide receivers, Nico Collins and the Iowa State duo, which is out there.
Higgins and Tommy Togiai, huh?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Tommy Togiai and his return for the touchdown.
Yeah, and then Dalton Schultz, the tight end. I mean, there's a lot there. I think as I say all this, I think the defense and the speed and the blitzing and just everything they do, they don't even have to blitz, but it's going to make it more difficult than the Pittsburgh saw against the Baltimore Ravens. So saying all this, and I talked a lot about Pittsburgh, but I'm going to take the Texans to win the game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. And as we see here in the lower part of the screen, which I should have done earlier, the Texans are 3-point favorites over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. The over-under is 39.5 in this one, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. This is Sims Complete on the Believe Sports Network. And I'm with you, big guy. I'm also going to take the Texans as well.
Wow.
And, DK Metcalf will be available and playing. I know that's an exciting thing for Steelers fans to know that receiver number 1 will be out there. But I do want to kind of lean towards more like, I think D'Amico Ryans, that defense, I think they can play aggressive and really make, Aaron, I feel like at times just a little shy to pull the trigger with the different looks, especially in the front. And of course, too, I do believe that they'll be able to create enough of a push up front to make it difficult for him. And that'll be the big question mark, I think, right, for this game is Arthur Smith, Aaron Rodgers, can they stay patient enough with the rushing attack, right, to offset that? Because, when you're playing the Ravens, there is no obvious pass rusher that you have to be concerned with. And that's why Aaron Rodgers can drop back 47 times and you don't have to feel worried about him taking one of these big time hits and all that stuff and being under pressure. Complete opposite matchup of this one. You got the fronts and the different things that they could do schematically on top of the fact that you got guys that can just win one-on-one matchups in obvious pass rushing situations. So Arthur Smith, Aaron Rodgers have to run the football effectively in my eyes to win this football game. And, for C.J. Stroud and this Texans offense, play clean ball. To me, it's kind of like who's the first to get to 17. Like that's kind of like the magic number in my eyes. Get to 17 and then play great defense because I do think this could be an ugly football game for both offenses in this one.
Oh, yeah, it definitely can. You said it about the Houston defense. Look, they can beat you with just skill and talent. And then, of course, they can beat you with their system too.
Right.
I didn't document or anything like that, but boy, they have different ways to get into the quarterback. And, saying all that, there have been some games this year where people have had great success against the defense.
Right.
And, throwing and, they've given up some big plays. That's interesting. And then just the last thought about Houston's offense, they're aggressive.
Yeah.
They put the football in the hands of C.J. Stroud a lot more than they used to over the time. But and C.J., he's, unfortunately, he's had games, and it seems like almost every week he's going to overthrow a few receivers.
Yeah, right.
That's his big knock to me. He's got a really compact, small motion, and then if he has to kind of hold it, sometimes I notice it never goes low. It's always high, and high is trouble in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
But saying all that, I'm still taking the Texans.
All that, still taking the Texans. I'm with you, big guy. I'm going to go with the Texans too. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to switch my pick. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to say the Steelers win in just an ugly ass game. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick just like it's ugly. They survive, by a field goal or something like that. And it really is just, I think, just maybe the fact that, with the Houston Texans offense, I like a lot of the pieces of it. I'm not sure if I'm like totally in love with like schematically how aggressive they are.
Yeah,
And I
no.
think that might play against them. Like, not to say that I believe in the Steelers defense all that much. Like, I think they can make some big time plays against them, but just not sure if the scheme can really create as many matchups as you would like to see in a game like this on the road in a hostile environment. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. Listen, if it's a knockdown, drag out, ugly game, I'm going to enjoy that just as much as I will 39-38.
Of course.
Because the tension is incredible. Just, can we make a play?
Yeah.
Just, it's
a good point, big guy. And something like I've noticed, right? Every time that I host on Sirius XM NFL radio, whether it's with like Zig or Bob Papa, they're like, wow, what an ugly first 3 quarters that was. I was like, no, that was great. That was high quality football. Like, it's not about just, always this high flying offenses and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope this, like you're saying, is just like an old school, just grudge match there in the mud on a crappy field.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's another thing. When you're a speed team, which I would say Houston is,
right.
They're playing on that field, and man, that field, come on, boy. The head coach is saying one thing: hey, make sure you got the right cleats all week long. Because
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say it's a slow field, but yeah, it's people slip and slide on Pittsburgh's field. That's been going on for as long as I've been in watched pro football.
Yeah, I mean, just ask Aaron Rodgers and Calvin Austin, right? When Awuzie stumbles on that double move there for them to essentially kind of seal the game, right?
Yeah.
And
point.
that's where just playing outside and playing on grass and all that, it's a whole nother element to the game. It's a whole nother player on the field, in a sense, for both teams, because you got to manage those things. So we'll see how that plays out. Texans are favored by 3. Big Eyes got the Texans. I got the Steelers. Should be a great weekend and wildcard weekend for the NFL. We'll be back next week to break down all of the action and to look ahead to the divisional round as well. Big Eye, any closing arguments?
No, it's all good. We had a couple. I think we had 2 or 3 games different, so that's great. And I'm excited about tomorrow and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just because of all we're going to see. And yeah, the college games, man, we need to talk about them too. I know you cover it really close and know it better than I do, but man, it's really an interesting group of 4 we have in the playoffs here.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly couldn't tell you who I really believe is the best team of the 4. So that's what's going to be fun about for me, just watching it.
I think the best team of the 4 is Indiana. I think the most talented team of the 4 is probably the Miami Hurricanes by a slight edge over the Oregon Ducks. And I would say the team that I'm most scared of for everyone involved is the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Their style doesn't always help them out. So that'll be a key there in that matchup. But of course, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss, that's the greatest story in college sports outside of Curt Cignetti in Indiana. Just reminding everybody that you don't have to leave the college that you're at to get better talent. You could just win where you're at now, all right, with the talent that you have, if you're just willing to coach them up. But either way, that's just my point. All right, hey, he's Phil Simms. I'm Matt Simms. This is Simms Complete on the Bleav Sport Network, brought to you by FanDuel. We'll see you next time.